Hello, folks. Welcome back to the channel. At once, happy 2025 to all of you. I hope you've had a great year and are looking forward to the year end break and celebrations. Today's topic is one that might interest many of you. We're exploring premium plotting ventures. When I covered different micro markets of Hyderabad, especially in the western and southern part, one of the most frequently asked questions was what was the price point of a plotting venture in that particular location? Now, despite the very strong adoption of vertical based living in the last couple of decades, be it apartments or villas, there is still substantial demand for these plotting ventures. This got me thinking, why is that? Now, slowly I've come to realize the value proposition of some of these. But let me share a couple of apprehensions that I have. You would have noticed I rarely talk about plots on this channel. That's because of two reasons. One, I believe the traditional form of living has gradually faded from, cookie cutter plotting based ventures to a little more of a gated form of living. In fact, just this week I had a discussion with a plotting venture owner, and he himself sort of acknowledged that these traditional layouts may not be sustainable in the long run. The second reason why I'm a little apprehensive is it's gotten a lot more expensive to own a piece of land in a good locality. You can definitely buy one in the outskirts very far away, but if you want to balance living standards, access, it's gotten a lot more expensive. For that reason, I've not talked about it for the longest time. However, today we're exploring at what has evolved in this category. Some premium plotting ventures are really catering to the needs of premium end users. They appeal to those who want to build end homes and have the freedom to build it the way they want. We all have great ambitions when it comes to dream home with a lot of personalized touch to it. And you would want to see the facade of your home in a particular way. And some of the builders are making sure that you have access to both of this, which is the freedom and also the gated form of living aspect. In today's video, that is exactly what we'll be exploring. We'll explore some of the most premium plotted ventures in Hyderabad. In my mind, a premium plotted venture should have wide roads, well equipped clubhouse, sporting facilities, and ample green spaces, among a few other features. These are curated list of projects where developers have actually focused on delivering quality over quantity. They've chosen not to maximize their yield from the land that they acquire or, you know, get into an agreement with, but instead redefine the standards of gated community livings. All right, with that, let's just go into it. Just a quick disclaimer that we are exploring projects within HMDA limits and also outside, predominantly in the western and southern part. Please note that they do come with a premium price tag. As I mentioned, land has gotten a lot more expensive. The farm plots in particular really cater to high net worth individuals who are looking for larger land parcels of land for greater privacy, more serene countryside sort of an experience. We'll cover a combination of both. All right, what do we observe on the screen? We see a few clusters emerging here when it comes to premium plotting ventures. One is far west. Let me just combine this belt where we have plotted ventures near Mominpet or along the Chevella Vikarabad road. So this is one belt where there are premium plotting ventures in a gated form of living. The second cluster is much closer to the ORR, predominantly meeting the needs of primary end home user, not your secondary home, but your primary residence, which is close to Mokila area. And then down south, there are two clusters again. One above the airport or much closer to the airport area, and then further away from the airport down south. So these are broadly the four clusters. I've taken the liberty of just combining really large areas together just to get a sense of where these developments are happening. Now let's go a little deeper and explore some of these projects at greater depth. Let me just go over from cluster to cluster, or just combine different set of projects together. To the far left, we have Fortune Retreat by DSR SSI Group. This is a plotted venture, predominantly farm plots, 47 acres of land parcel in their phase one. They do have future expansion plans. It's about 243 units, and the quoting price is close to 16 to 18,000 per square yard. The second on the list is Ridra Zen with 28 acres, 259 units. This has a key USP of purely wellness based resort. It comes from the house of Old Spa. If you've seen, they have outlets across India. And they want to start a trend where a lot of the gated communities should be catering to the wellness theme. And this is the first of many of their projects that they have. This goes for about 21,000, but they also have villas inside the property. And you would have seen, you can see some of the construction happening. In fact, I just visited this property very recently, and they have a Bali themed villa and a resort coming up within the vicinity. All right, so that's the second. Moving on to the cluster, which is slightly down south here along the Chevilla Vikarabad Road, we have a few projects. Villaggio, set in 175 acres. The exact number of units, I'm not entirely sure, but going at about 14 to 15,000 per square yard. Again, the USP of this project is it sells in large land parcels, either 1 acre or half acre, and they have a lake within the property, which you can see. And a lot of them have actually started building some of their, farmhouses here. In similar vein, we have Sanctum, which is at Chevella. This is relatively new by a builder called Beacon Infra Build. Similar configuration as half acre and 1 acre plots, set in 108 acres, 87 plots only, truly exclusive, and going for about 8,000 per square yard. This is situated on the main road that connects Upper Junction to Chevilla, which is going to be a 200 feet road. And as the sizes sort of speak for themselves, it's a farmhouse and home gated community. Next up, we have Vedic Farms. If we just zoom in, yes, so very similar configuration as well, but a lot more smaller sizes. This is a joint development by Vamsiram and another group. They have an artificial lake within the project. You can see some of the green patch there, which is reserved for this purpose. And this has a lot more units, 358 units, 120 acres, and going for about 15,000 per square yard. So yeah, those are the key farm plot based gated communities that are coming up in the western part of Hyderabad, and they have a lot to offer, especially for the folks who want to consider a weekend home. Now let's just explore one other project, which is Aparna Vasudha, which is bang on the 200 feet road, upcoming 200 feet road. This is a HMDA layout, which means it's within the limits. And Aparna has a lot of land bank here. They've started with their phase one with the Vasudha project, but there are upcoming phases as well. This is set in 36 acres, has about 413 units, and goes for about 37,000 per square yard. As you can see, it's a lot more pricier compared to the farm plots, given the HMDA use case here. So yeah, that's the last within this cluster. As you zoom out, you can clearly see that there are quite a few farm plot related projects that we've seen so far. Next up, let's go into the second cluster, which is a lot more closer to the ORR and is a better fit when it comes to building your primary home as opposed to a weekend home. A couple of projects that are worthy of exploring: House of Hirnandini and then Aparna Western Meadows. The Hirnandini group has been, here for ages. They have built humongous communities in Mumbai. They're based out of Mumbai. This is a project that was completed several years ago, about 3 to 4 years ago, set in 65 acres, 388 units, goes for about 45,000, subject to correction. But that's one end home community worth exploring. Next up is Aparna Western Meadows, which is known to many potentially. This project has truly changed the landscape of Mokila. It is now abutting the RR7. Some of the road work is pending, but you can clearly access it to reach ORR in about 5 minutes. As you can see, they have a massive clubhouse. It's called 17 Degree North. It's set in 200 acres, 650, fully sold out, so you can find a resale plot at 70,000 per square yard. This particular community, as you can see, is quite pristine. If you've driven around, if you go inside, you can see it. It has ample green spaces, lung space, and a lot of folks have already built their end homes here. And that's what usually drives up the value and the price point. The moment people start building their homes, that is when people recognize that this is a community worthy of paying a little more. Well, with that, we've explored the second cluster, or a cluster that sort of has a couple of gated communities suited for end use and for your primary home. There are many others in this vicinity, but those are the ones that stand out for me because they fit the end home need. Now let's explore the other side of the house, other side of Hyderabad, which is the southern part. As you can see, there are a couple of clusters here as well. One which is in Budweel, couple of projects that are worthy of a call out. One is Prestige Nirvana, which is again very similar value proposition as Aparna Western Meadows. It's even more limited in supply. As a result, it's a little more expensive. A lot of people have built their end homes here as well, and it is now at a point where the area is seeing a bit of a transformation. A lot of groundwork is happening to build the infrastructure in this area. As a result, better connectivity. But this particular community is 30 acres, 248 units only, and goes for about 1.5 lakhs in resale. They launched at 25,000, by the way, if you believe it or not, or close to even 20,000. So yeah, has massively escalated, and it's a truly end home, and a lot of people are already building their homes here. So yeah, that is Prestige Nirvana. Next up is Puja Crafted Homes, Big Homes. The reason why I call this out is, yes, they have a clubhouse here, but the main USP is it's on a hilltop, and you can clearly see the 360 view of Hyderabad from here. It's only 14 plots in 11 acres and goes for about 1.2. They sell relatively larger sizes, at least 1200 square yard sorts, and you can already see people are building some of their homes here. But yes, it is fairly expensive for the minimum ticket size that they have. All right, those are the couple of projects that we have in Budwel. Moving on to Shamshabad, Mamidpalli, or even Salem Highway Road, which is within 2 to 3 kilometer radius of the international airport. All of them have very similar value proposition. They all go for about 40 to 45,000 per square yard. Most of them are sold out. You have Ira Aero City, Phoenix Luxury Park, Phase 1, and then Prestige Orchards, which is right next to the airport, and the joint development with Vaishnav Group. And then you have Vertex Gigacity, which has a bit of a USP where they have a golf course inside the community, which you can see, which is a green patch here. But apart from that, they all have one key USP, which is the proximity to airport, good connectivity with either ORR or the link roads that you have, all going for about 40 to 45,000, so relatively affordable compared to other locations. All right, that's the cluster, and then now let's move on to south of the airport, where we have three specific projects: BTR Greens, Mac BTR, and then Greenwich Highlands, and then Shilpa Botanica. The screen has gotten a little blurred, apologies for that, We'll just clear that up in a second. But yes, all of these are along the Sri Salem Highway south of airport. The airport value proposition is still strong. This particular project, which is by Mac Peter, is set in 250 acres, has about 1,000 units, and goes for about 50,000 a square yard. And this is also a community where a lot of livability is seen. A lot of people have built their own homes here. Zooming out, we will look at Greenridge Highlands, which is a truly unique project again, which is set in massive 500 acres. You don't see a lot of end homes yet because it's still relatively new, and a lot of people have actually taken huge land parcels within this 500 acre community to build villas, as an example. So, a developer has taken a bunch of land to build villas within this 500 acre community, and there are future expansion plans as well. Goes for about 35,000 as mentioned. The last one is Shilpa Botanica. This is further south and closer to the health city or the pharma city. It's set in 330 acres with a bit of natural, hilly terrain within the community itself. Over 1,400 units and goes for about 23,000 a square yard. Again, similar value propositions where you have clubhouses, ample green spaces, and some natural advantage. All right, hopefully that gives you a very good sense of what to expect if you are looking out for premium plots in Hyderabad. You can clearly see clusters, some clusters that are focused on farm plots, some clusters that are focused on end primary home living, but all of them have ample green spaces, good layout, wide roads, and a clubhouse that sort of meets the needs of the end use or the end user. So these are not your cookie cutter plots where people just prioritize yield but actually focus on delivering a quality product. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching and happy 2025 to all of you. Like always, feel free to like, share, and comment. And thanks again for watching. See you in 2025.